Hello, welcome to episode 4 of the Top 4 podcast. That works well, 4 and 4. Myself, Prendy, hosting. We got Pasha. How you doing, Pasha? You good?
Not bad.
Good. Nate, how you doing? You all right? Yeah, nice to hear it. Jack, how you doing, man?
Fuck you, man. You give me this shit again. Fuck you.
And Yoki, you good, man?
Yeah, yo, what's going on? Good.
After the top 10 Premier League strikers that we did in the last episode, if you haven't checked that out, go check it out now on YouTube and all those other listening devices, Spotify, Apple, all of that. This week, we're going to keep it more current. We're going to just have a chat about the weekend results and then maybe a little bit more. So, a big week for the Premier League this week. Some big games, some shocks as well.
You're going to say the Premiership again, then, wouldn't you?
I nearly said Premiership before we got started. I was saying Premiership.
10 years ago.
Thinking about all those Sky Sport retro highlights I've been watching throughout the day. But yeah, a few shocks this week. Well, I say shocks, maybe shocks. The results didn't go away. Let's just go. I'm going to go straight in. The first game of the week, ruining everyone's bets. Not that betting, you shouldn't bet. To all our young listeners, but sometimes you have
Gamble
to
responsibly, all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't bet.
Yeah.
Don't go with Sky Bet. Everton, Newcastle. Yeah, Everton, Newcastle. Many people would have thought, Newcastle were out playing awfully. Steve Bruce is going to go. I mean, some people thought Steve Bruce was going to be the first manager to get sacked.
Someone would have bet on that as well last week.
Yeah.
We haven't actually mentioned that yet either. Be the fact that
I think he's still going to go. I think they're playing so bad, right? Well, first of all, obviously they beat Everton this weekend, but that was like their first win, I think, in like 7 games in the Prem. And it's only because the teams below Newcastle are so bad that he's basically still in his job. Because all Steve's got to do is basically keep him up. I think, wait for a new buyer of the club. But I do remember saying to you guys, when you put your bets on Saturday, I said, guarantee Everton's beating Newcastle. Boys, you don't need to worry. It's nailed on, boys. It's fine. Yeah. They go 1-0 down, and I was like, sorry, boys.
I got to be honest. The other day when they lost to Leeds during the week, they didn't look that bad. Like, they were still attacking. I think they were a little bit unlucky, to be honest, not to get away with at least a draw. Like, they had 22 shots in total, 5 on target. The Leeds goalkeeper Melia is how you say his name.
Yeah, Meslier.
He very much kept them in the game. And obviously got Leeds the win. But I thought Newcastle were actually really good in that game as well, from what I saw.
The thing with Newcastle is, on paper, they've got some really good. They got some really good Premier League players, but they're not.
That's what I was going to say.
You know the ceiling of those players. So Hendrick, I think, is a very underrated good player, but he's never going to play for a top 6 club. But Newcastle is probably a good player. And then you got Callum Wilson, who
Callum Wilson's the one. He's the one saving this season.
He was unreal against Everton as well. Like, just phenomenal.
He was one of my first picks in my fantasy draft as well. So I'm glad he actually scored the 2 goals that went.
I drafted him last week, and I was thinking, then the Newcastle looks so poor, they're never going to score, even with Wilson in. And then, obviously, the 2 goals on the weekend. Both
first header. Yeah, the first goal, his header was class.
Brilliant goal. But I think that Almiron's been playing well as well. Obviously, he had that really early goal. I can't remember who it was against, but it was like one of the fastest ones, definitely this season. And since then, he's been playing really well. They've been linking up together. Obviously, Joe Linton's had his odd game here and there. Like, there's another one where he assisted and got a goal, but in total, obviously,
how much did they pay for him? Because I haven't seen anything from him.
It's like 50 million.
That's their record. I don't know. I don't think it was 50. I don't want to call you out.
Bro, it was something ridiculous
like that. It was
something
crazy.
I thought it was like 35. It's their record signing, I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
I haven't seen him do anything. It's not like I watch Newcastle every weekend, to be honest. But
are you checking that, Jack? Oh, you're checking it, Jack.
Yeah.
The thing they've also put Saint Maximin just came back.
Yeah, he's back. Obviously,
he was out for a while with COVID, right?
So he was struggling, I think, as well. Like Bruce said, like he was struggling to get his fitness back as well. I've always rated their centre back captain, Lasales.
Yeah,
How do you say his name? Yeah,
Yeah.
He's always
I'm not going
been.
to try and butcher this.
I said that, and then none of you wanted to be like.
I wouldn't jump in. Yeah, I'm bad enough with names anyway.
Take the hit. So they got some good plays in there. It's just they just don't.
Do you want to know how much they paid for Joel Linton?
Oh well, the way you're saying it is, I think it's pretty close to 50 mil.
It was. It was just over £40 million.
How much?
That's pretty mad.
Yeah, 41 million.
Oh, so I said 35. That's only 6 away. You said 50. So I'm the winner. That's fine. Cool.
All right. I didn't know it was a game.
It is. Everything's a game.
Everything's a game.
Everything's a fucking game. It's always a competition.
All right. Where did he come from then, Tez? I've got the answer in front of me.
Hoffenheim.
I have no idea. I couldn't even back up. I couldn't even back up.
He said that with such confidence.
Yeah, Hoffenheim, yeah.
Rivals with my favourite. Well, not my favourite.
Tez looks like he's reading off a screen there.
No, I knew that anyway because I checked the other day because I was thinking where is this Joel Linton come from? But so yeah, look.
Yeah, I mean that was a big win for Newcastle though. They're now 8 points from the relegation zone, which, like Pash said, in terms of the standard of the teams below them, I think they're sitting pretty well at the moment. They could be doing better, obviously, but it's not like they're in deep shit.
So next game against Crystal Palace at home doesn't make a difference as much at the moment, but still. So potentially, hopefully now a little run for Newcastle might take them away from, any sort of trouble. Like you said, they've been getting berated a bit in the press, but they're now 8 points clear of the relegation zone.
What do you think about Everton though from this? I thought this was going to be another day at the office for Everton. I thought
weird team.
So weird.
Before Nath comes in with his unbiased view on it, they've got to be in the last in the whole of the Premiership. They've never been relegated, but they're just so inconsistent. Any time they even under Martinez, they're like, oh, these guys are good. I mean, the best they came was like 5th or 6th, and they didn't. Do you know what I mean? They've never really broken through, and got Ancelotti. I love Ancelotti.
He's a top tier manager, yeah. But I think Everton's such a weird team to manage. I bet he's made some great signings and that, and they started really well, but they're a bit vanilla. Sometimes they just go missing, don't they? With some of their big players in some weird matches.
I'd like to think that with Everton, and I know you're gonna all laugh, but with Tottenham as well, they both got good managers now. Who both joined at similar times halfway through last season. You would hope that next season is the time where really you can get judged. If Ancelotti, if they're where they are now under Ancelotti, he'll probably be under a bit of pressure. Same for Mourinho now. If they were sick for this time next year, Spurs, I think they'll be under pressure. So I think give them a bit more time because they're both. Ancelotti is he's won things everywhere he's gone.
Yeah.
If he can get sick for next season and win a cup, do you know what I mean? Or do you know what I mean? If he just wins a cup there, he's a legend. So, and they got Allen as well midfield and Gomez as well. Andre Gomez.
Rodriguez was the marquee signing, wasn't it? That was a bit of a statement because everyone liked Rodriguez. I think he's a bit of a fan favorite for a lot of people. And him going Everton, that was a bit more. It was a big step up. Getting Ancelotti, getting Rodriguez, it brings a bit of flair to the team. And I actually look forward to watching Everton now. When they're on, I go, okay, I know I'm going to see Rodriguez do some sort, spray some passing and that.
But it's still, I feel like the issue with a club like Everton is Rodriguez is he's class, but again, I think he has gone missing in a lot of games. I couldn't tell you 2 or 3 after 2 or 3 games, I don't know how many if he's dominated on many games. He's one of those he might do the odd shot from a few yards out once every 5 or 6 games, but I don't think he's been consistent enough.
I don't rate Richarlison. Every time I'm watching Everton, the commentator's always oh, he's got that in his locker, he can do everything, and I don't see it at all. He's always got a face like a smacked ass.
Yeah,
and he just goes for stupid shots. Yeah,
I agree. I mean,
I think obviously Calvert-Lewin's gone missing recently as well. He hasn't scored in the Prem now for almost 2 months. His last goal was against Burnley at the start of December. So and obviously I think the start of the season when they were in such good form was mainly down to how clinical he was, and obviously since he's dropped off, funny enough, now they've dropped off. So I'm not saying that he's a player that they solely rely on, but obviously he plays a big influence in terms of their form. So I think until DCL starts turning up again, I think Everton will keep carrying on like they
did England call up?
He's been injured not long ago though, as well. So that could be a factor in the form of in the dip of their form.
I don't think he missed that many matches though, did he?
There's only one match.
I thought it was 2 or 3 matches he missed.
No, it's just one.
It must not be. Yeah,
it's just one. But yeah, obviously he had the England call up as well. You got a couple of goals he scored against Wales, which I don't really want to talk about. But
that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, but he got a couple in for England as well, which would think be even more of a confidence booster. But yeah, I mean, like I said, until he turns up, I think we're going to start seeing more of this from Everton if they can't, start getting back to their older ways.
With Calvin Lewin, I think obviously this is his season where before the season, no one would have really been shouting about him in terms of like being one of the best strikers in the Premier League. He had a great start, so I think now it's about really he's got to show some consistency to finish the season well, the second half, and then show it again next season before people can really start judging.
How old is he? Was he mid-20s?
He's still young. He's still
23.
Yeah. Is he? He's
very
built like a proper athletic striker, though, isn't he?
He's 24 in March.
So. It reminds me a bit of like when Kane came through. He was, I think, 23 when he started getting played for Tottenham, or 22 when he started getting played for Tottenham.
Went on loan and that's like Norwich.
Yeah, and like no one was like, do you know what I mean? No one was like shouting about him, and then he started suddenly like he got started in the cup, and then he started scoring for Everton. So it's a bit like for Tottenham. So it's a bit like that with I think Calvin Lewin. If he can just keep it going, then we can start being like, okay, he's a real performer. But at the moment, it's just he had a good first 12 games.
I think he'll pick back up, and then people will be saying he's a one-hit wonder, and hopefully can continue it.
Yeah, you mentioned Palace is there as well. Obviously, they got a good win over Wolves yesterday. I
think Wolves and Everton was not too far off.
Since Jimenez have gone, especially,
they just got nothing there.
They look so flat, and they just look as if they got nothing.
I think they've been overachieving anyway for the last couple of seasons. They've got did they get like 6th?
They got Europa League, didn't they?
Yeah,
got Europa League one year as well.
That was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we talked. I think the Europa League this year. Are they still in it this year?
Yeah, they're still in.
I think we talked about this maybe last or the second podcast before, but there's almost in a little bit like a team in transition, or if they're not in transition now, they're gonna be because a lot of their players are quite old, and I've also not old, but like maybe they've always been found out a little bit. They need to freshen the squad up now because when they came straight up after winning the league, it was like, who's are these guys? It's the Portuguese second team just pinging it about.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've been found out a little bit.
When you put it this way, right? They're only 1 point ahead of Newcastle.
I know.
Wolves.
I know.
Yeah.
When you think of it that way, it's a bit surprising.
They're in trouble.
14th.
They're in massive trouble at the moment. But
the 3 points behind Palace. Obviously, that was a good win for Palace yesterday. But if you ask me, those two teams at the moment, they're just bang mid-table. So there's not really much going on.
Palace is a weird one. They got some great players. Is there that? I don't even know how to. Eze, is he?
Yeah,
he's
starting to come through as well.
Yeah, he looks really good. Zaha, it was always sort of hot and cold, isn't he? One week he's like absolutely takes the whole team on, scores a couple of goals, and then he does go missing a bit. Benteke, I think he's a terrible number 9.
He didn't play in the midweek, did he?
I don't think he's first choice for them. I think he's like filling the gap because he's still there. Because West Brom we've been linked to them a little bit this summer. He's a typical Big Sam signing. But I think the Jordan Ayew is who's been their best performer the last 2 or 3 years up front. But they've had weird strikers, haven't they? Because they've had Batshuayi come in, and then he started.
He was another one way. Yeah.
But Batshuayi, is he still on loan there? He's like their 4th choice striker, even though he's on loan there.
Is he on loan?
No, I thought they signed him.
Does Chelsea still own him? Because he's another one where I don't know if he just doesn't get enough game time because he's more of a sub for them, isn't he? He comes on second half usually for Palace, but he's another one that never grabs a game by the scruff of the neck. He's always just sort of floating about an odd goal here and there.
Yeah, he is still on loan from Chelsea. That's mad.
What have you got his stats for this year? Because I think he's in single figures for games played.
Yeah, I'll get him up now.
Because he's not played much.
He's come on as a sub quite a few times, but I haven't seen
in a Palace team. Do you know what I mean? Like I've always tried to back it because I remember when he went to Dortmund and he banged a load in and like
Yeah.
I remember when he was at Marseille before Chelsea signed him, but really he hasn't. I don't know if he's been given enough a chance like starting games in a row because I feel like he got started for a couple of games with Palace and then got taken out this season.
He's actually been coming on quite often, pretty much every game, but for the last like 10, 15 minutes. Which I don't think is enough, obviously, for him. But yeah, they've got so many weird forward players. It's such a random bunch, I think.
I think it's the type of player who needs a good run of games, but he's not going to get it because he's not performing. He needs to hit the ground running with sort of Palace. But then you think with Benteke in the team, is there that much sort of competition? Ayew was injured.
No.
Benteke was done last season. I don't know if he even scored a goal last season. If he did, he didn't score any above 5.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
But then this season, I think he has played and he has scored a couple early on, and that's why he's in. You got Eze on one side, you got Salah on the other, you got Townsend about. So having that big guy up front is not the worst thing when you have goals in those others. But then again, with Townsend, I feel like he's a good player, but he's not. There's a ceiling to his ability as well, I think. And he's been around a while.
Yeah, I think he was pretty good like to the start of the season. Seems to have dropped off a bit again, a little bit with form. With them, yeah, they're a bit up and down at the moment. Sometimes Palace can pull off the unthinkable, beat teams like City. But then, they lost to West Ham in the week, so they're a pretty good team.
So they're playing.
Yeah, they're very inconsistent. What I might do as well, I just want to backtrack a little bit. I accidentally said that Wolves was still in the Europa League, and I had to double check.
No, I didn't think
not for I
thought they came second in their group. Clearly not.
Well, I mean, we're probably going to keep that in. We're going to cut all this bit out, but we're going to keep all that bit in. Just
you need something to laugh about.
I'm already looking forward. I'm already looking forward to the meme that Jack's going to make out of this after. So,
I got plenty of memes about Jack that I can make.
We're talking about Palace and Newcastle. They're actually they're playing each other on Tuesday.
It's a big game.
If Palace win that, you think that's their relegation worries that they might have done. They'd be on 29 points up there with Leeds and Southampton. And a win-win for Newcastle would really give them some breathing space. But then again, one of those things, even though Newcastle won on the weekend against Everton, if they lose that, then you start being like, they start worrying again about getting dragged back in.
I think this season's
game.
So weird. Like there's so many teams doing really poor. Like you said, Wolves, Newcastle's been on a really poor run. But because the bottom three are so bad, they're literally especially. I think Fulham have picked up a bit, and West Brom are picking up a little bit. But the first half of the season, Sheffield are down. We know that, and I think maybe the other two are. But because they're so bad, like the mid-table teams are getting away with it. They're still leaving like a good 8 points above them. It's still quite comfy. It's such a weird season. So.
Yeah, I think speaking of just the past results, I think there was some maybe expected ones. West Brom and Fulham drew. I think Fulham had the big chances to put that away in the first half, though, because I think Reed scored and then he hit the post. But that finished 2-2. So, but both of them, like you just mentioned, I think both of them are going to be going down anyway. So I don't think
that's
there's
the
much
thing.
else to say really there.
I think is anyone else? Does anyone else here not think that is going to be the bottom three at the end of the season?
I think Brighton need to. Well, I think Brighton should be worrying, or they should have the thought in the back of their mind because they're only 2 points off safety. No, more than that. Like four.
They're 7. They're 7 points.
And actually, saying that, they just scored against Tottenham.
Maybe that's why they're 7 points on my phone.
It's 1-0 Brighton against Tottenham.
Maybe it's the live time. Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah. So obviously,
just let you know, everyone.
That's Tottenham doing a Spursies.
Yeah.
It's annoying when Fulham and West Brom have like an awesome 2-2 game, and then you get and then you get the United Arsenal game just dry as hell, 0-0. And that's why the Premier League's so mad. You literally can't bet on any game to be great, or certain games just ends up being bangers, which you think is going to be like a stalemate.
Well, that's the thing. I think Fulham are doing well. I mean, I know they're third from bottom, but They lost like their first 3 games. There was like they're going to be like bottom by a mile, and everyone's like, why is Loftus-Cheek on there? He's not going to do anything. And like, to be fair, like they've got some results and they've done well. I really like Scott Parker as a manager. He got him up first season after getting relegated. So, he got him up after the first season. So, I think they're doing well. And if they manage to get to the last couple of games, then they're doing well.
Yeah, is Scott Parker quite a new manager? How long has he been?
This is his first job. I think this is his
first job.
This is either his second or third season. I think it's his second full season in charge of management. So, and with the money they have, or the money they don't have, and they've got a lot of young players. So if they just get to the last couple of games and they still got a chance of staying up, I think that's a result for them.
To win the playoffs in this first season, that's good going, I think.
What did Klopp say about Scott Parker the other day? Didn't he, a couple of weeks back, didn't he go, yeah, he's a good manager, very good-looking guy, very good-looking guy.
I think he said he was handsome or something like that. That's always nice. Something like a decent compliment, like. Nothing about his tactics.
Oh, yeah. Playing mind games, like.
Trying to get inside him.
Yeah, that Arsenal Man United, obviously bad week for us after beating Liverpool last week. I mean, losing to Sheffield was a shocker.
Oh man, that game.
I'm not going to talk about United too long because I'm going to get upset. But that passage of play when we conceded that second goal was probably one of the worst minutes of football that I've ever seen in my life. It was shocking. Like
that defense, it was awful.
I almost threw my phone out my balcony. Like I was going to yam it.
I think United suddenly believed the hype, didn't they? They believed the hype.
That they were in a title race and just bottled it.
I think they believed the hype as much as I did.
Yeah.
And
to think like 2 weeks ago
he was saying top of the league.
To be fair, the Arsenal draw is not too bad. It's the Sheffield.
It's the Sheffield loss.
Yeah, like I thought we were going to draw with Arsenal. Arsenal is a tricky one lately. They're on a good bit of form, to be fair.
I think they should have took their chances.
That Smith Rowe is a really good player, and I like how much he's getting played at the moment. Well, he's starting. He's getting on the team sheet now almost every game, and I think he kind of, because obviously all the focus is on Saka, and he is a good player, but I think Saka's overhyped at the moment. I think then the Smith Rowe.
I don't think he's overhyped. See, Saka, I think he's created like some the most chances for Arsenal. He looks great. He looks like he's been playing for years. Like I think it's decision making with younger players where you could tell if they're good or not, and he makes great decisions during the match.
Yeah,
I think he's played in quite a few positions. He was good. Well.
Yeah, man of the match yesterday, didn't he? As well
no, he didn't even play.
In the week he did.
Oh no, getting mixed up.
That's the clip. That's the clip.
That's it.
That's for this week. He was
man of the match yesterday.
Yeah, man of the match yesterday.
Nice one, Nate.
I literally get lost in my own notes. But
get your Power Footy shirt out.
Sorry for fucking confusing the wrong games.
It's Smith Rowe.
It's too much football going on at the moment.
There is a lot of football.
It's too fucking much. I need one game a week so I can concentrate on what I got to write.
You didn't like how I didn't even try and help you out. I didn't even play.
Threw him under the
Wasn't
bus.
in the squad.
Back to what I was about Arsenal's recent form against Southampton. Yeah, Saka was really good in that game.
Yeah, Smith Rowe is English, Pash. He is.
I was like, I asked about 20 times. Thanks.
I know. I got you.
So yeah, obviously, we can't not talk about the City. Obviously, they won 1-0 against Sheffield United.
City looked this week.
I think City scored. They scored in the first 10 minutes.
And
everyone was like, "Oh, this is going to be." All the United fans were thinking, "Right, they're going to beat them 5-0, and we lost to Sheffield." Blah, blah, blah. But actually finished 1-0, so credit to Sheffield. Not sure goal difference is going to matter.
That was at the Etihad as well, wasn't it? That's a good result for Sheffield.
Yeah.
I know they lost, but that's a good effort.
Yeah, when they get relegated by 20 points, but their goal difference is going to be better for it. So it's all good.
Exactly.
No, City have hit form at the right time, and they've like for a while I was saying, Pep doesn't really know how to rejuvenate the team. Do you know when you go for a transition, you just need to change a few things and make the team kick on? I thought it had just gone too stale. I thought the players had sort of lost their head over Pep's tactics because he's quite intense. But they just look like a brand new team suddenly.
Yo, he's still a fraud.
Of course he is.
Let's not.
Of course he is.
Let's not. City are not top because they are the best. No, they're not top because they're like some amazing team. They're top because no one else seems to want to win it. Liverpool have had their bad period. They look like they could maybe come out of it. United started terribly and then hit great form.
Yeah.
Obviously, Arsenal and Chelsea nowhere to be seen. Tottenham have just been very inconsistent. Everton, do you know what I mean?
Football.
No one else wants to win it. And City have suddenly, you sit like they have hit form, but they've hit form against
that Gundogan.
They should be winning.
Gundogan, however you pronounce it, he is doing
Gundogan,
absolute bits lately. He's scoring goals. He's keeping them ticking as well.
He's been class from.
He's like a new signing again because he's been there a good couple of years, hasn't he?
He's never been like, the goals, not much of a goal scorer or assister really, Gundogan. He was like the midfield.
Almost in De Bruyne's shadow a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's definitely come into his own.
Yeah,
City's doing it with no proper striker. I mean, I know Jesus just come back. He scored, obviously, the one goal against Sheffield. But no Aguero as well has been pretty mad, hasn't it? Like, Aguero is another one where it seems like he's had COVID about 4 times. I know he does a lot of gaming streaming, so I don't know if he's just chilling at home doing that or doing it at his own.
Our number 4 pick. For the
I think I realised yesterday that City have picked up form since I saw that video of Pep Guardiola dancing to Dua Lipa. Have you seen that video?
It is criminal dancing, isn't it?
Bro, it is.
That's quite a while back, though, wasn't it? That was when he won the league.
But obviously it's done the rounds now because
it's coming back around. Yeah, that's
and ever since I saw that, they've come back in a form, and it's like that. Nah, that's
your fault then.
I know. Yeah. It is a funny video though. It is.
Yeah.
Proper dad dancing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, City. Especially beating West Brom in the week, they didn't really look as if they missed Kevin De Bruyne and there.
I thought they would as well, especially against people who just do a low block, like Sheffield just sitting right back. I was thinking maybe, like West Brom the other week, I was like, Big Sam's going to get 1-0 or 1-1, bam, slapped them 5-0. I think the way they're playing, like Cancelo, with him coming in, he proper tucks in and he plays like a midfielder. He's doing these crazy like dink balls over the back line of defences. Can Walker get into the team lately? Because I haven't seen him in a while.
He played yesterday.
He did play yesterday, but that's one of the first games in quite a few games, is it right?
Yeah, because I think he just rotated Cancelo and Walker.
That's the issue with City picking City players, isn't it, for fantasy?
I stay away from in the draft. I didn't pick one of them. I had Ferran Torres for a little bit, but and he got me a good couple of points. But I just took him out because you just can't see it. You can't see what's happening. He benched Sterling as well.
Yeah,
and John Stones.
Squad's too big, isn't it? I had like 3 players that didn't even play in my fantasy team.
Yeah, but the things with City now, right? They've got Burnley next, and then they've got Liverpool, Spurs, and then I think West Ham.
Arsenal.
That's what I mean. I feel like they've had an easy run, run. So now it's like, I don't think they've been amazing. I think they've just had a good run, and I think they will win the league. But now we'll see if they're either going to run away with it and get a few points clear now in the next like 3 or 4 games, or they're going to get dragged back down and it could be one of 4 teams again.
They will drop some points. They will go for a little rut, and it depends. Like Liverpool's picking up a good couple of points now. So they've got the win today against West Ham. That was a big win. I fancied them to drop some points. So that Man City Liverpool game could be huge. Is that at Anfield or?
Is that Anfield? Yeah.
It's Anfield.
Yeah.
So that could be a big game. That could be huge. I think Arsenal could probably take some points off City later in the month as well, just the way they play.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, obviously it's going to get interesting. I think obviously a big upset today was Leeds spanking Leicester 3-1.
That was crazy.
I mean, that's a crazy result for them.
Leicester's another team though
and they were 1-0 down as well. Leeds were 1-0 down. I had Leicester to win. They went 1-0 up, and I was like, "Here we go."
Missing Vardy.
Like I said, we've said before, since Vardy's been injured, they've still been performing and doing well. But yeah, today Leeds just got the better of them. Bamford played out of his skin. So I think that for the league as well, that's huge, especially for Liverpool and United. The teams in that top 5. That's a big result. Leicester dropping points against Leeds.
Leicester are like Everton, aren't they? Where they will just lose a random game out of nowhere to someone that you think's pretty nailed on.
That's the thing. I think they lost to Fulham, and I also think they've lost to Villa this year. no disgrace to losing to Villa. They've been good at time, like a lot of the times, but they've just got that inconsistent result in them. Obviously, they completely, after the whole lockdown last season, when they came back, they were third.
Yeah.
They ended up finishing fifth and lost a ton of games, which is your worry a little bit. Obviously, I love Rodgers, but there is that worry with Brendan Rodgers' teams, whether they can hold on when it really matters. And I think now it's about them showing that they can do it. I'm not going to shut on them because they lost today against Leeds. Leeds have rolled over other teams, and Leeds have it in them where they can score 3 goals very quickly.
It might come down to squad depth with Leicester. You know, they haven't got the squads of like the other.
But they're still 4 points clear of fifth at the moment. So even, you know what I mean? Like, it's disappointing that they lost. I also think that if we got Leicester in the title race, it's great for every neutral. And they can go on these mad runs. And it'd be like, if they're in there, you know what I mean? You wouldn't bet against them to go on a mad run.
Bamford scored a nice goal against him as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Bamford just played great.
Yeah,
after I took him out of my fantasy.
Man of the match. He played really well today.
Assists at the end as well.
Leicester's got 2 good games sort of on the
They got Fulham and
they got Fulham and Wolves, which I think with Wolves' current form, they should really win that as well. But then they've got Liverpool then on the 13th of February, which is of course quite a tough game. They lost the first game.
It's a huge game. It could be a huge game.
Yeah,
there's 1 point separating.
Will Vardy be back by then? Because I think
he's having an operation on his stomach.
Jota's back midweek.
I think he's meant to be back early February. I'm hoping that he'd be back for the City game, at least on the bench next.
Back early Feb. Well, funny that, because it's the 1st of February Monday.
Well, yeah, so he's back early February this week.
Yeah, he should. I'm hoping he's back anyway for my fantasy as well, so I can slide him back in.
Yeah, I reckon he'll start on the bench show against City.
I think if obviously Jota's coming back, and I think if Leicester don't get, I don't know how long Vardy's out for. I gotta be honest, I have no idea.
I think it's a couple of weeks.
No idea.
But if they're still missing Vardy at that point, then they might, they're going to struggle, I think. But
who's the backup striker? They got Perez been playing. Is Iheanacho still there? I've never seen Iheanacho do anything really special. He was at City, wasn't he? And then he gone to Leicester. He's no
Vardy. Couldn't even lace his boots.
No. You don't replace Vardy.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, with this, there's definitely some big games coming up, and obviously Frank Lampard's gone.
Yes, it's one of the games we haven't touched on.
Tuchel's first game in charge in midweek, and obviously, I think both lineups he's put out these 2 games have been surprising in their own way. Obviously, they got that 0-0 draw against Wolves in midweek, which arguably that's a fixture they should win. But they looked really good today. I gotta be honest. I watched the full game and they looked really good. For some reason, Callum Hudson-Odoi played like right wing back, and Marcus Alonso played, but Alonso scored that absolute world goal.
Class. The little knee touch in between just before he shot, he took on the chest, and then that like subtle little knee just to get the right height. Yeah,
lovely, and absolutely fucking kinged it into the goal. Then lovely.
Yeah, but I don't know what you guys think about Thomas Tuchel.
I think he's an idiot. He should have started Chilwell. I splashed 6.2 million on him this weekend from not to sit on the bench. What the fuck is that all about? Anyway,
it proved right, didn't it? Because he won in the end.
Yeah. Chilwell's been their best player. Now I think he's on an 18-month contract. I think. I don't think it matters what he does this season. Really, I reckon they'll end up coming 7th or 6th this season. They might even. Are they in the cups? Yeah, they might even win the cup this year, and then he'll probably start really badly next season, and it'll be gone by December. So yeah, I think we all agreed that with Tuchel, he's played different teams than what Frank was playing, and it'll be interesting to see in the next few weeks which players end up staying in the team and going. Obviously, Alonso didn't play much at all under Lampard. And now he's in there and seems like a player that he really likes. Obviously, Mount's been getting a lot of criticism online and from everyone just because he's not Grealish. So it'll be interesting to see if he starts, because he didn't start the first game, but he started the other day. Giroud as well. he's got the German link with Havertz and Werner. So I think it's very interesting times if you're a Chelsea fan.
Because Werner today, again, did you see
was
when he came in for
shit.
that shot?
Get what
He
out
went
of
for a
Werner?
shot.
Awful,
He came in for a shot. Hudson-Odoi did a wicked layup. Werner ran into the box, went to volley it, and he just like twatted it against his own leg.
It was just like everything. He tried to do a shot from outside the box, and he just absolutely, well, he looked like he was going to absolutely fucking welly it, and it just dribbled into the hands.
How would you even fix a player like Werner at the moment, though?
Mate, he can't even pass the ball. Like, he passed the ball.
I'm at
like
the point
someone's
where
out on the wing. He passed out, and he just went fucking flying past and went straight out in the game.
I'm at the point where I feel bad for him. Do you know when a player's confidence is so low? Even though I don't like it, I just feel bad for him now.
Do you reckon he's doing it in training? Do you reckon he's like doing a bit of, like, do you reckon he's actually like performing in training, which is why he's starting?
I think when you've got low confidence, the only thing to do is to try and play you out of it. I mean,
it's happened to loads of players, yeah.
Because if he benches him now, then it's just like, and then he brings him on, it's just so much pressure must be on him.
Because I'm getting Morata vibes. Remember when Morata was just missing howlers? Absolute howlers.
It's just a Chelsea curse. Like every striker they have just is it's a mad curse. Like loads of their strikers just go to absolute shit. The last good striker was definitely Diego Costa, but I don't think they liked him because he was such a shit house.
Tammy Abraham is a good striker though. I just don't think they're utilising him as much as they probably should.
Yeah, he did. He had a really good start the last season, but he hasn't really had an impact this season at all, have he?
Obviously, I know it's too early to say, but how do you say? Chelsea's such a weird club. How do you see Tuchel going? Do you reckon he might win something and then he'll just end up being sacked in a couple of years, like 2 years or something?
No, I can't see him winning anything this season. I might eat my words at that.
Has he got a long contract?
18 months, is it? I think.
Yeah,
it's not very long.
Chelsea.
That doesn't instill confidence, does it? If you give a 18 months.
Yeah, you can find someone new in 18 months. It gives you plenty of time to find someone else.
That's what Chelsea are like, though, aren't they? They just want instant success. You know, get us a title, and then you'll probably be sacked the next season halfway through.
You just got to work with a shit sandwich that you're given there, innit?
Bit more chilled out this week. A lot of games coming. As always, we'll be returning with a new episode in a few days. As always, thank you, lads, for joining. You've been listening to the Top 4 podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, so you can see Yoki's face most days. Mine other days. Won't see the other lads that much because they're a bit shy. Subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment, like all of that. And we'll be with you again with another episode in a few weeks. And if you haven't checked out the other episodes, make sure you check them out. Have a good week.